Hello everyone, 'tis I, April, and in this video yin practice today we'll be starting to loosen hips and adductors and abductors and glutes and all of this stuff happening in the legs so we can start to work a little closer to Padmasana, the lotus pose. This is going to require a lot of letting go, a lot of grace towards yourself. Make sure that we're not going, I need to go further right now, because you don't. Wherever you are when you're watching this is perfect. There's no need to force at all. For today you'll need 2 blocks, a blanket, and cat is optional. I think I won't have a single video without him. That's the way it goes, right? So we're starting in a comfortable seat, whatever that happens to look like today. Shift your weight a little further back into your sitting bones. Hands are resting comfortably and easily. Lift your sternum. Let the shoulders plunge down. Softening the eyes closed, and let's drop chin to chest. Just notice here. Are you starting to hold tension some places, and can you let it, just let it go, slough away from you? I'll be asking you to hold on to a comfortably deep breath, something that takes just a little extra thought to maintain. Two more breaths here. Let's open the eyes, bring the gaze forward, and let's build our first shape. So we will need our blanket. We're going to fold it in half lengthwise so we get this long, skinny rectangle. Long, skinny rectangle is coming to the back of your mat, same direction as that short edge. I'm going to plop myself down on my blanket. My sits bones are about in the middle-ish to the front half of my blanket. Bottoms of the feet are coming together. Knees are going to flop to the sides. So if you'll notice, once you let those legs go, you're going to feel this kind of propelling, rocking, tipping forward. That's what we're looking for here. Make sure you've got all that goodness out of the way. Sitting nice and tall, just stay here for a moment. Notice if anything needs to shift around or get rid of that tension. And as we inhale, tuck the chin. And exhale, begin to walk yourself forward. Once you find your body's natural first stopping place, hang there. We're not fighting with our bodies. We're saying, hey, let's try something new, and let's try it together. So let's hang. Make sure you keep coming back to that comfortably deep breath. And as your hips let you know, you can come a little further in and down. Just take your time. Just breathe. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. are in the last 45 seconds of this shape. Make any adjustments you need, whether that's further or coming out, and keep that comfortably deep breath happening. Inhale, round your spine, starting to come upright. And really press your shoulders back. Sit up nice and tall. Press your tailbone into your blanket. Tuck your chin. A few breaths here. Let's bring the gaze forward. From here, we're going to take right leg, foot coming off to the side. The middle of my arch is lining up with the edge of my mat. I'm going to let my knee flop to wherever it is, but if this is feeling really unsteady, tuck your block underneath. I promise you won't lose a bit of benefit. So with our right leg in a froggy shape, the left leg hasn't moved. We're going to sit nice and tall. Deep breath. And come forward again. Here we are for about 2.5 minutes. Again, we're honoring that first natural stopping place. As we go on through our practice, things are going to loosen. Don't worry so much about that now. Just that comfortably deep breath. If your hips are letting you know, you can go a little further. Super. And maybe you can't go further, but maybe it feels okay by now to take that block out from underneath the knee. You know, I have no idea. In our last 30 seconds, shimmy if you need, a little more comfortable. Round your back, walk your hands in. Inhale, up we go. From here, give your knee some help to point up to the ceiling. Straighten your leg, bounce it around, floppy fish foot. Just find some easy little movements here, but keep that right leg extended for a few breaths. Let's move on to the other side. So I'm bending into my right leg, gonna find my diamond shape very first. And now my left leg, I'm gonna pick up this foot. Middle of my arch is in line with the side of my mat. Miss it nice and tall. I might not need a block on this side. I might want to start with it, who knows? But miss it nice and tall. Deep breath to tuck the chin. And down we go. Things are always different. Side to side. Day to day. Practice to practice. It's okay. There's not a thing wrong with you. Remember to take your time. Remember to check in, say, oh, can I go a little further? Sure, or no, I'll stay here. It's all good. Comfortably deep breath. That's all you really need to worry about. We are in that last 30 seconds, just if you need. Hands are starting to walk back around your spine. Inhale, coming up. And give your knee some help facing up. Extend your leg. Bouncy knee, floppy fish foot. Just find some easy little movements here. And take a few comfortably deep breaths. Nice. So go ahead, slide yourself off of your blanket. We'll push that off to the side for now. Go ahead, have one of your blocks directly in front of you. Believe it or not, we need to loosen up ankles, which means we need to loosen up the bottoms of our feet. So what I'd like you to do is come to all fours, kneeling, and curl your toes underneath you. We'll start out with hands on the block and turn a little bit. So from here, I'm leaning my hips down onto my heels, but my toes aren't just hanging out. I'm trying to sweep them behind as if I wanted them to move, but I don't. So I'm leaning into my heels, I'm pushing my toes against my mat, and I'm using the block for a little more intensity. You may or may not feel something here. Maybe you need to move the block up a little higher, or maybe you'd like to sit up. We'll just pretend that I'm still in frame. Wherever you are, let those hands be soft. And let's stay here for 60 little seconds. If you need to abandon the pose, go for it. Remember your comfortably deep breaths. doesn't feel good. We only have 15 seconds. Nice. Lean forward, untuck your toes, point them back behind. Give your feet some little pats on your mat. And now again, we're gonna sink those hips back to heels. I'm gonna roll all the way up, seated on my heels. We're gonna work into the tops of the ankles, just gonna even out that sensation. For this, you can use your blocks on any level you like. We're gonna place hands behind us. I want you to start sinking your bum down, rounding our backs, and from here very slowly picking up the knees. You do not have to lift this high. You can be here. But this one, we're only here for about 30 seconds. Breathe deep. This is horrible. Five, 4, 3, 2. Blessed relief coming forward. Pick up your feet, give your ankles some little shakes, some little wiggles. Wiggle your toes. Thank goodness. From here, come to a neutral seat. Any shape of legs, wherever they need to be. Let's set up, finding a neutral place just for a little bit of a transition. So my ribs lift, my shoulders plunge, and I just breathe. Let's find our next shape. So I'm going to take my blanket from the long skinny rectangle. I'm unfolding once and I'm unfolding one more time, just so it's longer. I want you to push your blanket across the top of your mat. There's a little bit of blanket hanging over each side of your mat, and we're going to come on all fours, tabletop. When we set this up, the whole reason we have the blanket here is so that outside of ankles and calf are padded on the blanket. So I'm going to bring my hands on top of, in front of my blanket. My knees are way behind. I'm going to scooch this left knee all the way to my wrist. And from here, I'm shimmying my foot across. My heel is going to stay up to the middle of my right quad here. There's no reason for you to be here if that's horrible. From here, I'm going to start to scooch my other leg behind me. So you see my ankle is well cradled on this blanket. From here, do make an effort to scooch this left hip back a little bit. If your bum is floating, block underneath, you won't lose benefit. So let's take a deep breath. And let's fold for 3 minutes in our sleeping swan. Incidentally, my body is not yours. So if laying your torso all the way down is absolutely not happening, cool. You can stay on your forearms. You can put blocks under your forearms. You won't lose benefit so long as you come back to that comfortably long breath and keep reminding yourself that where you are is perfect. approaching our last 60 seconds. Shimmy however you need, adjust what you need, come back to that comfortably deep breath. Walk your hands back towards your shin. Curl the back toes, scoot your knee forward, come back to that all fours table. Left leg moving around all kinds of weirdo shapes. Just get some blood flow back. Wiggling around. Ah, yay, movement. All right, second side. Remembering one side is probably going to be a little tighter than the other. It's all good. This time my right knee is scooching up to my wrist. I'm going to start walking my foot through. Again, my heel is going to stay in line with that left quad. Curling the toes, scooching my back leg behind. Do try to get your front hip to move back a little bit. And let's start to fold into our 3 minutes of Sleeping Swan. You can shimmy however you need. You are not broken if you come really far into it and then decide, no, I need to not be here. And if you come back a little, it's actually better because that means you know you. You have that very clear vision of, I'm not going to hurt myself today. Because that's never any good. You're in those last 60 seconds. Just breathe. Hands come back towards your shin. Curl the back toes, bring the back knee forward. Sweep that leg back behind. Ooh, lots of movement, lots of wiggling around. Nice. Coming up to a transitional, comfortable seat. We'll take our blankets, fold it in half once, and then in half again. We're coming back to this long skinny rectangle. So this one takes a little bit of explaining. So what we'll do, I'm going to take our blocks on the lowest level, they're end to end. Take your little row of blocks to the outside of the right edge of your mat. So I've got a little more than a fist width distance of blocks outside of my mat. It's on the right side. I'm going to take my long skinny rectangle and plop it on top. So here's the little bit of weirdness. To get into this half frog, I'm going to start out lying on my left side. I'm going to scoot that down because doggy piddling on a fire hydrant, my right knee goes to the top, ankle toward the bottom. Now we need to untuck that left side, bringing the hip back down. I'm trying to get as much of the front of me down onto my mat as I can. You may or may not feel a ginormous sensation here. If you need more, you can move your blocks to the second level. It's just a little less stable. So we'll stay here, hanging out, comfortably deep breath, for about 2 minutes. If you need to adjust, well, do so. Make sure if you need to unadjust that you do so. We are in the last 20 seconds. To exit this pose, I'm going to fully come onto my left side and bring both knees up to my chest. I'm going to curl into a little ball, breathing deeply. Let's move into the other side. So I'm going to go ahead and just flip to the back of my mat to try and cut down on, confusion. Can't see. So I'm lying on my right side. My left leg is doggy piddling on a fire hydrant. Knee to the top, ankle toward the back. I'm untucking, trying to bring as much of the front of me down onto my mat as I can. Shimmy in a little more. And let's breathe for 2 minutes. Remember to come back to that comfortably deep breath. It just feels good. Last 60 seconds here. If you need to adjust, if you need to shift, cool. legs at this shape. The same as on the other side. I'm untucking or tucking. I'm going to bring both of my knees into my chest. I'm going to pull them close. I'm going to breathe. Here. Let's roll our way up to a comfortable seat. I'm going to scoot my blanket and blocks off to the side. I'm going to find a wide-ish V of my legs. Now, heavy on the ish here, because depending on your hips, your glutes and all of these things, it could be here. Doesn't matter too much to me, because I love you. It's all good. Once you find your wide-ish V, I want you to untuck that booty, sitting nice and tall. Make sure feet are pretty soft here. No need to hold on to tension. Deep breath in. And down we go. So here again, once you find your natural stopping point, that first check-in place, stay there. Let yourself breathe into it. Let everything kind of soften in. We'll be here for 3 whole minutes. Just breathe. If you need to adjust, either further in or maybe we need to come back a little bit. Super cool. Just make sure you feel good where you are. I don't want you to be fighting your body. I don't want you to hold on to this idea that you have to plaster your nose down to the floor. It doesn't work that way. Just try to let go, you know? Last 30 seconds. Start to bring your hands back around your spine. Inhale. Gently bend your knees. Bring the bottoms of your feet down in front of you. Get those heels close. Wrap up your legs. Tuck your chin and breathe. Next up, I want you to slide your blanket and block combo again over to the side of your mat. We're still facing our long edge of the mat here. We're going to take wide-ish legs once more. I'm going to bring my little prop pile pretty close up to the middle of me. From here, lean back, hold on to the outside of your left ankle, and plop it down on your little pile of stuff. Make sure this right leg is soft and floppy. We're gonna fold over here. We're only here for 2 minutes or so. Nice deep breath. And down we go. Comfortably deep breaths. Bring your hands close. Inhale, rolling up. Drop your shoulders. We're not quite done with this left leg yet. I want you to pick it up. Scoop your right arm or hand underneath your ankle. Your left arm is going to come around your knee. We're going to pull the leg close and give it some little rocks from side to side. You might be here. Super cool. Whatever works. Let's help that left leg come out to the side. A few bounces, a few floppy fish feet. We'll work on this right leg. So up it comes. We're taking ankle and knee onto our little prop pile. We're going to sit nice and tall, comfortably deep. Inhale. Let it go and fold. 2 minutes here. You're in the last 45 seconds. Adjust however you need if you need to. Begin to bring your hands closer. Inhale, rolling upright. Down go to those shoulders. Scooping left hand under the ankle, right arm around. We're going to pull close. We're going to rock a little side to side. Let's take that right leg out to the side, a few bounces, a few floppies. And here, we'll need blanket, but not much more. So I'm gonna move my blocks over here. So your blanket can stay in this shape, or you might need to fold it in half so we get this kind of chunky cube looking thing. Moving our way into fire logs. That's kind of the precursor to our Padmasana. We'll start with right leg down on the mat. So I'm bringing my right leg in front of me. My shin is somewhat parallel to the side of my mat. I'll move so you can see that. Now from here, I'm going to scoop up this left leg. Again, I'm holding my ankle, I'm holding my knee. I'm going to try to bring it nice and close, and I'm really rocking to the side. So much so that my left hip is actually moving forward. That's a good thing. So we're going to rock and push, that's a worse word, but I'm going to come across. Now, when you lay this leg down, you might be here, you might need to be here, or maybe today we're going to line up ankles and knees. If you can already line up ankles and knees, but this guy's floating up here, pat it up. You won't lose benefit, just the discomfort. This one's pretty intense. We're only going to be here 60 to 90 seconds. So, nice deep breath. And down we go. Take your time. Don't sweat the small stuff, right? It's really all just small stuff. Comfortably deep breaths, last 30 seconds. Starting to bring our hands closer to shin. Inhale, round your way up. Gently guide your left leg off and out to the side. Bouncy knees, floppy, whatever you need here. Just leave your legs where they are for a moment. Close your eyes, take a few huge breaths. Let's see about that second side. So I'm going to lean back. I'm going to take my right leg out to the side. My left leg now is coming in front of me. My shin is somewhat parallel to the side of my mat. I'm going to scoop up ankle and knee. I'm going to draw it close. I'm pulling across, so much so that my right hip moves forward. Big, big rocks across your body. Remember, one side is probably going to be a little tighter than the other. It's okay. Bring wherever your ankle is ending up today. Let it sit heavy. Give yourself some padding if you need. Let's stay here for our 60 seconds. Nice deep breath. And down we go. 30 seconds. Adjust if you need, come up if you need. Breathe deep. hands close. Inhale, roll yourself up. Give your right leg some help moving off to the side. A few bounces, a few flops. Just sit nice and tall, even out your bum. Let's take a few deep breaths. So, all of this is prep to work into someday moving into Padmasana, lotus pose. And just so you can see where my body has ended up today, maybe yours will be somewhere close or not. We'll take left leg across and try to stick your heel in your hip crease. So you're noticing that my left knee is way, way up here, which probably means I'm not going to take my right leg across because this is pretty tight. So I'm not going to. We're going to see what the other side offers today. So I'm going to take this right heel across. Oh yeah, knees coming a lot closer. So I get into this, it's going to look really super awkward. That's my lot in life. So I'm coming here. My left ankle is coming across. Now, my feet are automatically flointing. That's body of the foot away, toes coming back toward me. You might have to do that. There is a rolling down of my knees into my mat. You want to sit nice and tall. So if this is somewhere you've made it today, neat. If your lotus on both sides looks like my lotus on the first side, neat. Doesn't matter at all, really. Some people have goal poses. This could be it. Maybe this is just something to see, kind of a benchmark type of thing. Whatever it is, if you're here, cool. If you're not, cool. Whatever you're doing, let's uncross completely. Let's get all of our props out of the way, off to the side. I'm going to stay seated, but I'm going to ask you if you'll just lie back on your back, find a comfy shape. What would a yin class be without a final relaxation? It'd be kind of a bummer, that's what it would be. So, once you have arrived in your shape for our final relaxation, begin to let go. From the crown of the head to the soles of the feet. Release muscles of the face. Eyes are soft and snuggle back in their little beds. Teeth have separated. Perhaps the lips will part. Root of the tongue and throat are soft. Chest, shoulders, arms and hands grow light. A deep breath enters the belly, and exhaling, the navel falls to the spine. Hips, legs, knees and feet release into the earth. So comfortable, so at ease, and very, very safe here in our Shavasana. before you move. Deepen your breath. Fingers and toes begin to wiggle. Wrists and ankles circle. Reach your hands high overhead and stretch from fingertips to toe tips. Roll over to your right side. Find the shape of safe little ball for just a few more moments. Keeping eyes closed as much as you can. Gently roll your way up to a comfortable seat. Hands coming to rest easily. Sitting tall, shoulders line up over hips. Eyes and face still soft. Receive a deep inhale. And let go. Thank you, my loves, for joining me. I hope this gives you what you need, a direction to take, remembering that from day to day, side to side, practice to practice, things are going to look and feel different. It doesn't mean at any point that you've taken a step backward. It just means that whatever it is that today. I'm always grateful for you. I'm always honored that you come. I love you ferociously. Have a beautiful day. The light that is me honors and loves the light that is you. Until we meet again, namaste.